Dear entrepreneurs, it's Roberto. Welcome to the new show. So, in this show, I'm actually going to be chronologuing some of the behind the scenes of my life and my thoughts as an entrepreneur. I'm going to be doing this for what's called SSSVEDA, which is triple SVED, as in vlog every day in April. If this works out, I'll bring the series back for Veda again for vlog every day in August. So you guys might have noticed that there's a little change in venue here. I'm actually kind of sort of on vacation. I'm in Myrtle Beach at my aunt's timeshare. So that's pretty cool. The rest of my family is actually driving up to join me, hopefully a little later tonight. But I've been here most of the day. I actually had a flight from St. Louis where I've spent the last 2 or 3 days. I was doing a speaking engagement. It was probably the best speaking engagement I've done to date. It was Shutterfest. Hopefully they have a video of me that I'll be able to share with you guys because I think that would be amazing. I also would love some of those clips for my own speaker reel because I'm getting a lot more into public speaking now. In fact, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that and how that is grown, how that's been a part of the business, and why I'm so excited about it. So for this trip, I actually was speaking at Shutterfest, which is a festival and an event for the photography market, and it was amazing. I met some great people. I got to hang out with a lot of the great vendors from Tamron and Sigma, build some relationships. I think I've actually been sold on the Micro Four Thirds Panasonic Lumix system for video. That actually might become the new YouTube channel setup instead of the Sony gear that I was thinking about moving on that before. I actually might go with Panasonic because of the portability, how light it is, and all the features I get. Bang for the buck, it's probably better. So there was that. But let's talk a little bit more about like the speaking gig. So my whole deal was on the business and marketing and brand development side of it. Helping photographers. Now, you guys know that I didn't decide to try and be a pro photographer, and I don't think talent was the variable there. I just feel like, for me, I'm really super selfish about things that I consider art. Design plays to my business strengths and my marketing and advertising background, and so I look at that as part of an execution of business, and I still leverage and use photography and video, as all of you know, to this day to grow my business, and that's really practical for me. But I get to do that as the business owner. I get to do that as the decision maker, the shot caller. I'm not answerable to anybody. If I have to do something that I would consider to be more art, it's really hard for me to do that and be answerable to somebody, especially if I'm convinced that I know better than them. So that's just rough. That's probably why I became an entrepreneur. So what happened was I went up there on stage. It was a huge stage. It was gorgeous. It was well designed. They had me on like 2 screens to the side of me. It was legit. And I crushed it. Why? Because I made the stage my playground. Making the stage your playground is my interpretation of Gary Vaynerchuk's guide to public speaking. And so you guys should read the Ask Gary V book, by the way, robertoblake.com/askgaryv, and go get the book from Amazon. But the Ask Gary V book is amazing, and it's super practical, and it has some good advice. Did I get my entire speaking philosophy from Gary Vaynerchuk? Nope, not even close. I mean, I've been doing this for a year now. I've done enough speaking engagements to find my own rhythm and my own cadence, but I did take a lot of Gary's advice to heart to make myself better and to learn and to be more self-aware. So what I ended up doing was I really made sure that I engaged my audience, I connected with them, I gave them stuff that was very tactical, which is something they may not have been getting from other people. I really gave specific case examples, and then I went and I made half of the session Q&A, and I killed it. And I think a lot of people underestimate how much bravado, how much like confidence, how much real brass balls it takes to do live Q&A on stage, because you have no control over what happens. It can be completely chaotic. Someone could throw you a curveball that you may not feel comfortable to answer. You just don't know. So to know your content so cold that you feel confident to do Q&A, and to show the audience that you can do that and that you can do snappy responses and that you can make sure that you're answering their questions, you earn a lot of respect and a lot of instant credibility. And so the session turned out great. It's one of the best speaking sessions I've ever done, and it's the most comfortable I've ever been on stage. Even with doing PepCon, even with doing Revolve Conference, where I was very comfortable with Revolve Conference, even though there was some technical difficulties. I feel like this one was the best speaking engagement I've done. Period. I did Rule Breakers recently. I did Master Your Money Summit recently. Those were the virtual conferences. They were similar to my live streaming and YouTube stuff in terms of format, and I was comfortable with that, and I think that helped. But I also got to have conversations there, and I found that that was where my strength really is the conversations. The same way I go back and forth in Periscope, the same way I do it in Blab.im, conversations work for me. So getting my speaking sessions to be a conversation, I found out that that's where I win. For entrepreneurs, figuring out where you win and how you win is so important. You've got to get that level of self-awareness, and the only way you do it is by taking a lot of risk. And there are so many people who are entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs that are just risk adverse, and I get that. I've been told that I'm risk adverse, but there are sections of my business where I'm risk adverse. When it comes to one-on-one human connection, I'm not risk adverse. I will take chances. I will take the emotional punch in the face every time. And I'm not scared of rejection because, hey guys, you know my story. My default setting was being rejected because I grew up a black nerd. I mean, what are you gonna do? I grew up a black nerd with a Hispanic heritage with the name Roberto. Hey, I'm used to the rejection because I had to wait several years, several decades actually, to be able to let all of that be a strength and win. It wasn't cool to be on the web design team and no coding when I was 15, 16 years old. It's really cool now, and it makes me a lot of money. It gives me a lot of advantages. It wasn't cool to be a photography nerd and to be shooting film like when I was 14, 15, and guess what? It's really cool now. It wasn't cool to be a film nerd and a film geek, but it's cool now. Like, everything that I bet on and took the loss on as a kid lets me win today. And that's a really great entrepreneur story as far as I'm concerned. And I think for a lot of you, it's the same. And then for some of you who have kids, right now your kids might be a nerd or an outcast or introvert or something like that. But who knows, in a decade or two, that kid's probably gonna win. So make sure that they hang in there. Make sure you're encouraging that. So over the next 30, 29 days, you guys are going to be getting to know me a lot better. You're going to know a lot more of what's going on in my day-to-day, my thoughts. I might actually show you stuff that I'm working on that I can show you. Obviously, there's stuff that for practical reasons with client stuff, privacy, that I can't share. But I'm going to try and give you guys as much of a sneak peek into what's going on up here and out here wherever I can over the next couple of days. So I think this series is going to be fun for a lot of you. I think it's going to be interesting for me to just produce a different type of content. This stuff is not going to be perfect, by the way. I plan to shoot all this on my iPhone because I want to prove the point that you can get a great production going with very little, and that it doesn't have to be super perfect. So you guys are gonna notice the audio is not gonna always be perfect. The lighting's not always gonna be perfect. There are gonna be things that I never bother to edit out. If I make mistakes, I make mistakes. There are gonna be things and distractions going on in the background. These videos aren't gonna be perfect, but they are gonna be real. So entrepreneurs, stick around for that. Stay encouraged, keep hustling, and of course remember, create something awesome today.